going on, guys? Cesar Sanchez here with Move with Cesar. And for today's video, it's going to be a little bit different. Rather than mobility techniques, I'm going to show you the top 4 myofascial release techniques that I have used in my 10 years plus of helping people heal from back pain, sciatic pain, performance syndrome, etc. I'm going to be honest with you. Personally, I don't do as much myofascial release anymore, meaning using lacrosse balls, foam rollers, Chinese cups, etc. I don't really do as much of that anymore because I've gotten so comfortable, and I have made a commitment of doing mobility every single day that I don't really develop so many trigger points. Sometimes people, when they haven't been moving for years and they have been living sedentary lifestyles and they have chronic pain, sometimes they need to spend a good amount of time just releasing fascia, releasing all the trigger points, just to be able to decrease the pain from a 10, sometimes to a 2, sometimes even a 0. I've had people that come and visit me and they come in, with their back rounded, just rubbing their lower back, saying that they have had pain for many years. And I just have them spend an hour just releasing these 4 areas. And at the end of the day, once they get up, they're like, wow, the pain is completely gone. So what we're gonna use for this technique, we're gonna use 2 different tools. Number 1, we have a lacrosse ball. So these are probably about $7 on Amazon. And then we have a hard medicine ball. So you wanna make sure that this is not a bouncy ball. You wanna make sure this is a hard, dense tool, okay? So you can also use a 1 or 2 inch PVC pipe. Personally, I prefer to use the medicine ball because not only you can use it with clients for workouts, but you can also use it to release certain areas where you have big chunk of muscles such as the quadricep and the glutes. So for the first technique, we're gonna focus on releasing the tensor fasciae latae. So this muscle is right on the hip. It starts on the iliac crest and then it connects on the hip, okay? So the way you're gonna find it is by first laying down on your back. Okay, so let's say in this case, we're gonna do the right side. So I'm going to extend my right leg, put your fingers on your hip, and internally and externally rotate your femur. You're gonna feel how the hip turns. Right where you feel that bone moving, you're gonna place the ball and extend this hand over to turn and rest your head on top of the arm. As soon as you get in the right spot, you're gonna feel a very sensitive, tender spot. Put as much pressure as you can, but to the point where you can tolerate this release. This is gonna be so painful, okay? Now, for the sake of time, I'm not gonna spend a full 30 minutes just releasing a muscle. Usually it's gonna take you anything from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. For some people, it takes them a little bit more than that. So all you're gonna do, once you find the hot spot, just stay there. Extend your arm and relax and breathe. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Once you feel like the pain it's dissipating, move the hip around just a little bit until you find another trigger point, another hot spot. It's important that when you're doing this type of release, don't play loud music, don't drink pre-workouts, don't drink coffee, don't do anything that stimulates your nervous system a lot. Make sure you listen to some peaceful music, watch some comedy, laugh while you're getting this release, because it's gonna be painful, to be honest with you, okay? So assuming that you spend 10, 15 minutes, then go ahead and do the other side. So again, extend your leg, put your fingers, turn. Once you find that hip that turns, put the ball, extend your arm, find the trigger point, and stay there. So let's assume that I just spent 20 minutes on each side. Now we're gonna go to the next trigger point, which is going to be your glute medius. The way we're gonna do this, you're gonna get into a shin box position. So bend your leg, place the ball by your upper glute, get on your elbow and find the hot spot. Once you find the trigger point, the same rule applies. Stay here until the pain dissipates. So I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I can't stress this enough. Do not drink stimulants while you're doing this. That stimulants is gonna increase your cortisol levels, adrenaline, and it's only going to tighten up your fascia. Instead, you wanna just breathe and drink some water if you can. You're gonna need the water, especially after all the myofascial release, because you need to rehydrate the tissues. you're putting pressure on the trigger point right now, and you're depriving the tissue, the tight fibrotic tissue, from nutrients. The moment you release the pressure, your muscles, like a sponge, they suck up fluids, nutrition, blood, etc. Okay? So once you clear all these restrictions, then we're gonna go to the other side. Same thing. Okay? So bend your leg, place your other foot on top of the other foot, and just find a spot and hang in here. Breathe. All right. Again, assuming I spend about 20, maybe 30 minutes on each side, then we're gonna move on to the last two. Now we're gonna use the medicine ball. So how do we do this? So now we're gonna be releasing your quadricep muscle. So the quadricep is like a big chunk of muscle. It goes from your hip all the way down. So what we're gonna do, you're just gonna lay on the ball. If you have a lot of trigger points, you're gonna feel them immediately. Okay, so find the hot spots and just stay there. Here's the tricky part about the quadricep. With the quadricep, you're gonna have to turn your hips multiple times. Right now I'm in the middle on my rectus femoris. Eventually you're gonna have to turn the hip inward, and you're gonna find even more trigger points. You're probably gonna spend the most amount of time on the quadricep because it's such a big muscle that you tend to develop so many restrictions. Just stay in this position until the pain is gone, hopefully. Okay, so breathe through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Place both of your hands on the floor just to manage how much pressure you put on the muscle. And once you're done releasing this muscle for about a good 10 to 20 minutes, then go ahead and do the other side. Same thing, put pressure on the muscle. Okay, sometimes you're gonna have to turn your hip inward. Stay in that position. This doesn't go away in 2 minutes. You have to, it's important. I've said this before during this video. It's important to spend a really good amount of time releasing and clearing all the trigger points. So you might have to go all the way down to almost the knee, to the bottom portion of the thigh. Eventually you need to go to the middle, then you need to go on top. Don't just roll like so. Spend some time on the hot spot until it's gone. And the last one, and one of my favorites. So now we're gonna release from the mid all the way down to the bottom glute. This is where you get a lot of pain for whenever you're sitting down too much, etc. Or sometimes there is such thing as people that train their glutes excessively over and over and over, and all of a sudden they develop trigger points. They never stretch them after the workouts, and they become really tight, and they can give you some hip pain or lower back pain. So all you're gonna do, you're gonna sit on the ball. Next, the same side that you're releasing, you're gonna bring your foot across and rest your shin on your opposite knee. Just stay in this position. As you clear the trigger points, you're gonna move the ball around until you find another hot spot. Make sure you hit the mid glute all the way down to the bottom glute. So again, spend 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes on each side. And once you're done with one side, then go ahead and address the opposite side. Start in the middle, spend some 5 minutes, 6 minutes there, then move the ball around, find another trigger point, spend another 5, 6 minutes, then start going down to the bottom. And again, take your time. This addressing these 4 trigger points might take you about an hour. If you don't have a lot of time during the day, pick 5 to 10 minutes and just focus on one trigger point, one area only, and then do the other ones throughout the day, the next day, etc. But it's important that you do it consistently so that eventually you're not gonna have to need it anymore. Okay, at least that has been my experience. After releasing all of these trigger points, once you start doing mobility drill, you keep your fascia so hydrated that you don't really develop those trigger points. And if you do develop some, whenever you put pressure, you're barely gonna feel the discomfort. Okay, so I hope you found a lot of value in this video. If you know someone, if you have a family member who might benefit from these drills, please do me a favor and send this video to them. If you also get a chance, please like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. That would help me grow my YouTube channel. This is Cesar Sanchez again with Move with Cesar. Have a great day.